So it is a real pleasure being with all of you today. Now I'm like all conscious about how I look. Uh, and one thing, this is honestly the first time that I've spoken in any venue like this. And a lot of times as a woman, I'm Latina, I'm from New York, I'm an immigrant. Anybody from Washington Heights? I'm from the Heights. And a lot of times we're asked to talk about, well, how did you get to where you are? What were your challenges? Honestly, this is the first time that I've been asked to talk about something technical and about something that I work with. So I am an ally, please be nice. So I am, the other thing that's going to be a little bit interesting is I'm going to talk about machines and artificial intelligence and robots, and I'm going to do that in a talk, which means no slideware, because I really do want it to be a talk. And one of the things that I wanted to do as I was preparing for this was to think about, okay, many of us that are here, if you're in tech, you study things. So I said, okay, how do I define it? What is the history? And then how do we apply that in a financial context? So a little bit about what is a machine? When we talk about a machine is an apparatus using or applying mechanical power and having several parts, each with a definite function, together performing a specific task. When I think about a machine in finance, historically, how many of you use ATMs? Automated teller machine, right? A robot is a machine that is capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically, especially one that's programmable by a computer. And then artificial intelligence. When we think about that, it is the theory and development of computer systems that able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. So think about visual perception, voice recognition, decision-making, and translating between languages. So as I was doing my research to talk to all of you, I thought about what were the earliest uses of machines or tools. And it really goes back a really, really long time, centuries. So early origins of mankind, we developed tools to help make our lives easier and better. So just a simple hand axe changed the world. Greek civilization, ancient Greek civilization, made use of levers and pulley systems. Leonardo da Vinci actually discovered the rules of sliding friction in machines. And while we don't have evidence of this, it is rumored that he actually had the designs for the first humanoid robot. Don't quote me on that one, though. Mechanical engines. How many of us go in cars every day, right? Engines power airplanes, and there was one airplane that flew me from the East Coast to the West Coast to be with all of you here today. Making our machines make our lives better. Electronics. So the first calculator known was discovered in 1645 by Pascal. That calculator, the reason that he developed it was to help his dad with, get this, nothing other than taxes. So interesting. The first programmable universal manipulation arm, known as Puma, was developed in the mid-70s and 80s, and it was used, very, very widespread use, in car manufacturing assembly lines to make cars more reliable, to be able to get them out faster. And also around that same time in the late 70s and 80s, that's when ATMs also started getting wider use. And look, when you think about things that you do and then you can do that you do on an ATM, you can do that now on your mobile device. Artificial intelligence. When 1997 was a big year for artificial intelligence, some of you may remember, and I'm probably dating myself here, but IBM's Deep Blue supercomputer beat the chess champion, Garry Kasparov, in that year. Another point on history, this is a Lesbians Who Tech conference, and many of us are women. One point in history that I thought was interesting, the role of women with robotic processing and automation. So there's a professor at MIT, her name is Cynthia Brizial, and she has been a pioneer in social robotics and that human-robot interaction. And she created Kismet, a robot that was interacted emotionally with people. And as I was doing my research, I thought, how cool was that? Leave it to a woman to bring humanity to something and to bring emotion into the equation. So I thought that was interesting. So when we think about machines and robots and artificial intelligence, how do we leverage that for finance? How do we leverage all of that information, that technology, for the knowledge worker? So automation, we do this today all the time in finance. We develop software that can take manual and repetitive business processes, and we make it simpler. We automate that. And we do that with custom applications. So I support consumer operations technology at Bank of America. Every day, the systems that my team supports and that we write process 9 million checks a day. Whether you take a picture of that through your mobile device or you go into a branch office and you deposit that check. We image that check and we process that. Again, using a lot of technology. We do that very quickly and rapidly. That is automation. There are other ways and historical ways in finance that we have used technology, and we've been leveraging that for a really, really long time, for decades. And I'm going to date myself here, but when I started on Wall Street, one of the things that I learned about was that we do a lot of automation on Wall Street to process a lot of transactions. And specifically, when I supported settlement processing very early on, we have industry utilities that help us process all these trades. And the reason that existed and the reason why we had to do and build those industry utilities was because there was a massive paper crunch that I learned about in the 70s because we just couldn't get through all of that. So automation has been around in finance because we need to process a large amount of data very, very quickly and accurately. We've been doing that for a long time. Some of those investments that we have are still in existence today. Any of you around for Y2K? Remember Y2K? Who knew that technology that we've built a long time ago would have longevity? That's not something that we could have even thought about. So with the advent of robotic process automation, what we can do is really change that environment for the knowledge worker. How can you increase speed and accuracy? How can you process more and make sure that you take out all the QA that you do, the manual processing? When you think about a knowledge worker and their desktop, they're interacting with multiple systems and different platforms. Their ecosystem can be complex. Well, you can take, with robotic process automation, you can take that, you can turn that into a flow chart, you can pair that with workflow and scripts, and then you could change that ecosystem and really emulate and simulate everything that a human does in a very systematic way that is accurate and fast. You could read screens and interpret that. So in essence, a robot or an automaton, a bot, can be an assistant to the knowledge worker. So we could focus on much more value-added work. Going up the ladder of artificial intelligence, we have analytical software where we could enable analysts to make decisions and gain insights on information. We do that all the time. We analyze feedback so we could create better systems for our customers. Continuing along that, we can have conversational systems that are human-like. What option would you like? Can you tell me what your account number is? And then there's cognitive, where we could really start to advance to algorithms that make decisions, that learn from that, software that is continually adapting and improving. We could do that in finance for things like trading applications and learning from customer patterns so we could develop and better anticipate your needs. So historically, machines have made our lives better. And in finance, we use machines, we use robots, we use bots and automation all the time. In financial services, it's how we apply that technology to improve the financial lives of our customers. At the bank, our purpose is to make financial lives of our customers better. We can leverage automation to do that so that we can meet those needs of our customers and be there when our clients need us. So all of this technology has influenced finance, and it will continue to. We need to use that to add value to our customers and make lives better, just as machines started doing centuries ago. So thank you really very much for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for indulging me in talking to you about automation without any automation. So thank you.